Hetepu, 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 brothers and sisters. Hetepu, hetepu, kings and queens. Amor, my highest self greets your highest self. Happy Thursday, happy Thursday. How's everyone doing today? How's everyone doing? How has your week been? Hope it's been productive, restful when needed, loving and always blissful. Just coming in and checking in with you guys again this week. See how everyone is doing. Got a little message this time. So I've had conversations with many different people. People I've dated, homeboys, when interacting with the opposite sex or the same sex, whoever. Operating with family, operating with co-workers and bosses. A lot of us like to express that we just would appreciate and just like the good, hit the easy button. That is just always peaches and cream, right? Not wanting to acknowledge, observe, or feel the so-called negative aspects of life. Hetepu, hetepu. And it brought me to this story that I read in one of my books, also heard it online. I'm going to give it to you real quick. So the story goes, there were two men who were being fed by a friend. One man had two bowls, and the other man had just one bowl. The guy with the one bowl separated his food into sweet and bitter. So one bowl had sweet things in it, and the other bowl had bitter things in it. And the other guy who had one bowl took the sweet and bitter things and mixed them together. So the guy with the two bowls, he only ate from the sweet bowl. The guy from the one bowl ate of the mixture of the sweet and bitter. And they both had the same thing over and over again over time. As time went on, the individual who had the two bowls, his health was deteriorating. He was getting sick. He was wearing down and deteriorating. While as the guy with the one bowl, both having the same food, the guy with the one bowl who mixed the bitter and the sweet, he was very vital. He was strong. His mind was about him. He had strength. After so long, the guy with the two bowls finally asked the individual with the one bowl, how are you still so vital and strong and got your wits about you? Well, the guy with the one bowl said to him, he said, where you have two bowls of sweet and bitter, you only ate from the sweet. Because you only ate from the sweet, you began to slowly deteriorate. You refused to accept the nourishment of both, which would have helped you grow. So at that point, the guy with the two bowls smashed one of his bowls and combined his bitter and sweet in his bowl, and he began to eat. And as time went on, he became stronger, more vital, and got his wits about him, and he was healthy. The story is, right, that there is nourishment in both the bitter and sweet. But when we make distinctions and not wanting to experience the bitter or not take the lessons from the bitter, we are not getting our full nourishment. We are not getting our first nourishment when we only want to observe and acknowledge the sweet things. Get what I'm saying? So as we go through life only wanting to experience the sweetness of something or someone and not taking the nourishment of the bitter, we're not fully getting our nourishment and getting what we need from each experience. So don't be such in a hurry to always just want to have pizza and cream. Sometimes you need a little mugwort. I like to do with herbs, right? But I always wanted to, I do a lot of herbal tinctures. If the only thing I ever took was hibiscus and honeysuckle and marigold because they're sweet and they taste good, I would miss the nourishment and I would miss the benefits of choosing to get the bitter herbs like mugwort and mullein and those things that clear out our digestive tract, right? So understand that we have to understand that we must take the sweet and bitter, Don't make a distinction between them. Mix them together and eat of them so you can get the full nourishment of what life is giving you. Life is not all just sweetness. Sometimes there is a little bitterness, but just like when we were kids, when we had foods that we didn't want to eat, we mix with something else so we can get it down. Take that same as in life experience. Take the bitter and the sweet, mix again, and get the nourishment of both. Don't separate. Don't make a distinction. If you want to grow healthy, take the bitter and the sweet and get that nourishment. There's less is in all. Nourishment is all. And then, once you get good at it, the thing that was bitter is no longer looked as bitter. It just is. It's just food. It's just nourishment. Holding on to a description or distinction of it is where we get our problem at, right? It may not feel good, but it's still good for you. And being that it's still good for you, it is all sweetness. It is always good. It's always pleasurable. Not always sweet, always pleasurable. Even though it may rub you the wrong way, it's always beneficial, always pleasurable in the end. That's it. Don't try to separate them. This message came back up, as I keep saying, my solar return date, June 5th, this Sunday. I take this time before my birthday to do a lot of evaluating, reflecting about myself and about this past year and about past years, to see if I'm continuing any echoes, any patterns, if I broke any patterns or any echoes. And I was sitting yesterday morning, staring out the window, looking at the trees dance, and I had a flood of emotions as I'm evaluating new things. And gratitude, feeling alone, happy, sad. And I didn't run from any of these things, right? Because they came with different ideas of things I've worked through and are working through, and being able to feel these things. So tears came up, I was crying, listened to some music, cry some more. But I didn't run from any of these things. They didn't deter me, they didn't make my day bad or anything of that nature. It was just a point of getting my lessons. And I continued this until my birthday and thereafter. But I took the bitter of and the sweet of these past years to make sure I'm growing nice and big and strong. It's not spinach. That's it, I think. I hope the message reaches who it's supposed to reach. Yeah. Don't separate. Take the bitter and the sweet. Allow it to nourish you. I'm having to do that in these recent days. That's it. Family, remember, when things get a little hectic, a little strenuous for you, take time to breathe, ground, center, and repeat as much as needed. And when it's becoming a bit too much for you to handle on your own, allow someone to be your anchor until you can get your footing. And then again, breathe, ground, and center. Brothers, King, peace, Kirby. Brothers, kings, I appreciate you. I need you and I love you exactly where you are. Sisters, queens, I appreciate you. I need you and I love you exactly where you are. Not because I want anything from you, not because there's anything you have to do to deserve it, simply because I honor the present that is your presence. I hope that you honor the present that is your presence for yourself. Honor you. Your moments. Honor your yeses. Honor your no's. Speak your truth. That's all. Remember to practice the art of pause. Find the bliss in any and every situation. You guys have a marvelous Thursday. You're welcome, Ash. Have a marvelous Thursday. Have a marvelous weekend. And come to kabatuvillage.com. Allow me to hold space for you to be seen, to be heard, to be admired, to be appreciated, to feel safe, to be loved. Just come swim in the ocean of me. Come and experience. Even if it's just a phone call because you need to vent. I got you. Peace, peace. I love you. Mwah. I love you. Mwah. I love you. Mwah. Peace.